Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come in, come in, come in. This is Tamika's Den. I am Tamika. Get on in here, y'all. Get on in here. Kick off your shoes and relax your feet. You are now in the den. So, guys, this is my review recap, child, for Bel-Air Season 2, Episode 10. Don't look back. This is the season finale, y'all, okay? The last one. Child. It's a mess, y'all. It's a mess, okay? So we basically finding out that maybe Doc is not as bad as we thought he was. Maybe me, white runner, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead and help him out. We still, of course, got Will out here struggling, okay? Giving us the struggle tears, all right? Calling up his mama. He don't know what to do, okay? He still kind of misses daddy, but he hate him at the same time. He ain't feeling Doc, but then he's feeling what, he was attempting to do and the effect that it's having on the boys. He's asking for a little help. Carlton over here being called out, told to look at his damn self in the mirror, child. Man in the mirror, own up to the fact that he is not all who he is pretending to be. Can he face his truth? Jeffrey getting these calls and these hang-ups, and we want to know who the hell is on the phone, what the heck is about to go down with Jeffrey, and we basically got Hillary still all up with Child LaMarcus, and I just don't think it's going to go the way she think it's going to go. I don't trust it, but hey, Jazz, you did drop the ball. Is Ashley about to be over here with damn Olivia? Okay, is that's what happening, girl? Child, I don't know, but let's go ahead and get into it and, break this daggone episode down, take it from the top. You know how we do. And also, Phil, I know your family over here about to give you a heart attack, but I need you to see Erica for what she is and don't fall for the bull, because I know that is not what we about to do. Baby, we start out this episode, Will trying to get into a damn fight on the freaking basketball court. Okay, Will trying to show out. He always got to prove himself and act like he the big man. And Jazz still, even though he's not talking with Hillary like that no more, he still tries to come through. And of course, Will over here talking about something, you don't know me like that. I said, well, if you don't sit your behind down somewhere, okay. Now, Carlton over here, child, he ain't even trying to hide it, all right? He might as well just dance through the damn holes and sniff up this coke, okay? Because every minute he in this locker, he's sniffing. Of course, one of the daggone advisors is coming up and telling him how he's been doing so great, how he's ending this junior year very strong. This is including him coming up for this Founders Award. He could be the one to make history in Bel-Air. And he's like, wow, I didn't win yet, though. And she's like, yeah, but you basically are winning anyway. So we might as well just go ahead and add that, to the list. So she tells him that she wants him to be the one to talk about this mental health initiative. I said, child, yeah, maybe he is the right one to talk about it, but honey, not for the reasons that you may think, honey. So, Will over here on the beach, he crying in his feelings or whatever, and Lisa comes sit down with him, say she, got his message, and he basically was like, you didn't have to come all the way here, and she like, hey, you hung in there with me, you came, when I was in my time of need. That is what friends do. So she's like, come on, let it out, like, what the heck is going on? And of course, he just starts telling her that he always thought, the one place he didn't have to fight, the one place he knew how everything worked, he felt safe, and you know what I mean? He felt in control is basically, of course, on the basketball court. And now that's became daggone chaos. So she basically tells him that her mom used to always tell her, you basically may not get what you need out of life. I'm sorry, what you want out of life all the time, I should say, right? But you will get what you need just on time, all right? You just got to find out what exactly that is. And so, again, he thanks her for coming. And, of course, she's saying, like, you know what I mean? We friends. Friends hold each other down. They have each other back. And he was like, is that really all that we supposed to be? Or do you like it that way? Do you really think that is what we supposed to be as friends? And she says, yes, absolutely. Okay, that's what it is. And I said, well, how the hell are you going to be asking, do you really think that that's what we need to be as friends when you the one that said you wanted to be just friends? I'm just saying, okay, let's keep that clear. So, she go ahead and give him a hug, and you could tell that he really needed the hug, okay? He holding her as tight as he can. So now we basically, see that I'm assuming that Phil's whole big idea, right? Because we seeing that he's trying to lease out this space. We got Erica coming there, and meeting him and talking about like what's going on here. And he's telling her how he done passed the ball, to his friend, and that he is gonna still work with the firm, but he wants it to be where he's actually outreach that they reach out to that gives him contracts, and he'll be there for all the meetings, and he'll show face, and he'll make it look good. But he wanna start his own thing, right? So if y'all want me, then this is what it comes with. And she's like, that's not the original deal. He was like, yeah, we'll take it back to them. And if they really want me that bad, then I don't see no reason why they won't roll with it, okay? Now, I do think this is a better idea, and I think part of it is, one, Phil does deserve to have his own thing, and two, that's better because he not going to be right there in that daggone office and all up underneath freaking Erica, okay? And she over here trying to bat her eyes and be extra every damn chance she get, and we just like, we see you, girl. Now, we see daggone Hillary over here, of course, still eating it up with daggone LaMarcus. He telling her, you ain't lost your touch. You still basically can get throw down in the daggone kitchen. And he's saying this don't have to end. They over here talking French to each other, okay, saying we still got it. And he's basically saying like when he leaves to go, she could come with him, okay? They could go see Paris and hang out and shop and all of this, and he want her to leave tomorrow. And she's like first saying, well, I got all these different responsibilities. The house is just getting together. I got different things that I got to do that I've set up. I got to be able to, make my videos and do my paperwork and do editing and everything else. And of course, he's still just trying to be like, girl, let me show you the world. Okay, let's take this adventure together. And she's like, tomorrow? I don't know. Okay, I said, Hillary, I'm watching you too. Okay, I'm going to see what you doing with this girl. So, nonetheless, we get to Viv, and she's still dealing with, of course, this whole daggone thing with the damn foundation. So Janet comes and she's telling her about, she put in some phone calls and she want to come and tell her the good news in person. She has these two organizations that she reached out to, and she keep asking Viv, is something wrong? And she's like, no, I'm just in shock. This is so much, but thank you or whatever. So Janet's like, oh, you sure you okay? And she's like, yeah, just basically, I guess, trying to give Viv the chance to tell her about everything. So then she's like, all right then, and she's getting ready to leave. But then she was like, one last thing. Okay, I hear the Neiman damn, board came to see you and trying to replace me, and hell to the no, I won't go. Okay, I'm not trying to bow out gracefully and easily and make it easy on them or whatever. I'm going to definitely go to the public and put it all out there and let them know what the hell is going down. And she's like, after all I done for you. So Viv is like, after all you done for me, you mean after all you done to me? You have literally been trying to squeeze the damn life out of me. So I'm like, Viv, you do need to start speaking up for yourself more, being more direct, because you was over here trying to bullcrap in this lady face, okay? And so when she called you out, and then you finally started speaking up and pushing back, and basically just letting her know, like, I didn't ask for any of that or whatever. So she was like, good, because, you never going to get the position or whatever. And she was like, so you not trying to give it up? And she was like, hell to the no, okay? She was like, that's basically a promise. And so Viv is like, I didn't come to them. They came to me. And she went ahead and walked out. So now, Viv got to deal with that. She just standing there left with her damn mouth open. Now, Drew still hating ass Drew, okay, no matter what. He over here mad and questioning Lisa at the fact that she done missed first period, and he seeing her and Will walking up because, of course, she went there and met Will at the beach first. And so, well, I guess they just hanging out now at this point or whatever. And then, she's like, oh, well, because he accused her of lying. And she's like, oh, basically like you did about the daggone locker room video and the fact that you leaked it. She was like, yeah, I guess, we're both liars or whatever. So she was like, anyway, I got nothing more. And she walks away from him. I'm so damn tired of him. Like, at the end of the day, even though some of the stuff he be saying in reference to Carlton is true, it's like, boy, why you so pressed? Why you such a hater? Why don't you just stand in your truth and who you are and what the hell you trying to do, instead of being so worried about everybody else? But nonetheless, I digress, moving right along. So one of Will's teammates come over and is basically talking to him and saying how, they got this game coming up and it's going to be really hard to go against this team. He do miss having Will coming around when it comes to that. And he's like hearing Carlton laughing, looking over and saying, what's up with Carlton since when is he back hanging with Connor? And so Will is like, hey, he's doing a lot of things recently that he don't normally be doing, but you cannot help those that don't want to help themselves, right? Because Will already done caught on that there's something going down. But I was like, you know what, Will? I got to pull your coattail a little bit on that too, because if you are still concerned, regardless of what it is your cousin, and if you know he's doing a lot of things as of lately, okay, that he shouldn't be doing and that you can't help those that help themselves, at this point, it would be time to let his parents know what's going down, okay? Obviously, he was already doing this long before Will got there, but I'm just saying, now that you do have an inkling about it, I would think that you would go ahead and let Aunt Viv and Uncle Phil know, but that's not what he do. So now Viv is upset at the fact that Janice approached her, and when Phil comes in and he's telling her, it's looking like they may go ahead and take his deal, she's like, okay, that's cool. And he was like, well, what's going on? It seemed like you're a little upset right now. And she was like, yeah, she's threatening to go to the press or whatever the case may be. Like, I was actually starting to look forward to this, get excited about this, and now here goes something else blocking me. So Phil was basically, okay, like maybe you might want to take a step back from this for a minute or whatever. And she gets offended and was like, here we go again. This seems like deja vu. She was like, anytime you having a struggle, I actually push you to be moved through the struggle. Whereas when it's the opposite way around, I don't feel like I get that encouragement and push from you. I feel like you always telling me to back off from it. So she basically walks away from him and got an attitude about that now when he's standing there looking stupid, child. Now, not too long after that, Hillary comes and wants to borrow luggage and he's bringing it down to her now. They're talking about Hillary, but really not talking about her because her and damn Phil and Aunt Viv start having a back and forth where she's saying, oh, that's great to have a man that buys you things and treats you good or whatever the case may be. Absolutely, you want that, but you also still want to have your own identity. You want to be able to do what you want to do when you want to do it, how you want to do it, and not let it off put you from your goals and things that you're trying to achieve and forget about the work that you want to do and things like that. And Phil is going back saying, well, there's nothing wrong with that. And if somebody else can't see your value and they don't appreciate you, and then you have this man that want to give you the world, then you should just go ahead for that. And at this point, Hillary is getting confused. Like, so do I go on the trip or don't I? And they both essentially end up telling her, like, girl, it's your choice. We ain't got nothing to do with us, right? Because they kind of talking about themselves at the same time. And then they both get up and walk away, and she just sitting there confused. Now, Will, like I said, is getting emotional, child. He over here boo-hoo. He called up mama. She's like, oh, my poor baby, I'm so sorry. I know you've been going through a lot of things lately. And he basically was like, I told him that I didn't want to be bothered with him, but then there's times when I actually still do. And she's like, Doc, and then he's like, no, Lou. And she's like, oh, well, that is still your father, and regardless of what, you're going to have your days that you're mad at him, angry at him, hate him, whatever. It doesn't change that. And sometimes, yeah, you're going to want him too. She was like, but you have to stop looking to other people for you to be able to find your peace, your comfort, your happiness, and what you want to, have in life. Essentially, you have to look inside of yourself. You're the only one that could give yourself those answers, right? And so you just don't have to go ahead and figure that out. Now, we basically have, him even come to call, him looking at this shirt or whatever, I guess thinking about the team, his number 14 shirt or whatever. So he ends up coming inside of Uncle Phil's office and saying, Uncle Phil, can I talk to you? And he's like, yeah. And so he was like, it's not just about me. It's actually about the team and the sacrifices that they had too. So do you mind, can the fellas talk to you for a minute? And so we kind of see this back and forth with Doc talking and explaining himself and reiterating the fact that, yeah, I've been doing this, but I wanted to do it a certain type of way, and this was the reasons that I was doing it. And once I seen it getting out of hand, I backed out of it. That's not what I wanted for me and my boys, and I'm always trying to help them and look out for their best interests and all that. And we're getting the boys say, well, he paid my mom's bills when she was out of work. It was basically like an envelope that had money in the bag, and we can't sit here and talk about and say some of these things because that would probably bring, like, a red light to it or whatever, that the coach is handing out money. How's he doing that, right? Another kid is talking about, getting help with doctor's bills. Somebody else is talking about, shoot, even down to dog food that he done bought for them, food when they didn't have no food in the house and different things of that nature. And so they're kind of showing a different side of, Doc too, and why they wasn't going as hard as well, right? And also the fact that they don't have certain choices and they don't want it to have to fall on them because, they're in this program. And of course, if this person go ahead and just put the program out there and expose them, then they could lose chances of even getting into other stuff. So Will is basically saying to Phil, like, listen, if it was just about me, I know you got my back and I know you will help me regardless because, he tells Will that, right? But is more than that, right? He wants to be able to help these other players too. Who's going to stand up for them? Who's going to be the ones that's going to be there to help them as well? So now Uncle Phil is kind of getting a different perspective of it, understanding where he's coming from. So he does say that he will try to help, Doc in the best way that he can. And I'm like, okay, so is Doc not the bad guy anymore? All right. Now, we basically, of course, have the boys, have to get ready for this Founders Award and stuff like that. And before that happens, Will calls himself, coming into Carlton, actually being like, you know what, I always wanted to know what it felt like to have a brother, and now I do. Sometimes we're going to get into arguments. We're not going to agree with everything. We're not going to always see eye to eye. But when it all falls down to it, no matter how we argue or whatever, you still my boy. I'm still your ace. I still got nothing but love for you. I will still be there for you to the best of my ability. And Carlton is kind of like, okay, yeah, like, you know what I mean? Kind of just being somewhat nice, somewhat sarcastic, like a nasty type of attitude with him where, excuse me, he still have a little bit of attitude, but at the same time, he not trying to give off too much of a push. And he telling Will that he would go ahead and see him later downstairs, right? As they would get to, prepared to go into this event tonight or whatever. So Will is like, okay, cool. I just want to say my piece and let you know where I was at and what I'm thinking, right? So now, Viv actually ends up calling Janice back over, and Janice was like, yeah, I'm here because you said you wanted to apologize or whatever. And she does want to apologize, but at the same time, she also wants to give her an alternative to the way that she was trying to handle things. She's like, instead of going and making it seem like, it's a negative way or whatever, and somebody's backstabbing you and proving them right every time when they feel like us black women can't get along and that we always fighting against each other, why not make it in a way where you're actually passing the torch to me, and you know that I'm somebody that will keep your legacy alive and run things the way that you want it to be ran? Because if it's not me, it's still going to be somebody else at the end of the day, and it may not even be a woman of color, and then your legacy could be completely gone. And she's like, at least this way you can actually go and retire and be able to be with your grandkids, travel the world, you know what I'm saying, and probably still leave with some kind of package and things of that nature. So Janice do seem like, she's still giving a little bit of attitude, but she actually seems like she liked that idea a little bit better. Like she's at least considering it, and it's not where, is anything nasty happening between them at that point. Now, they do agree to Phil's terms so far as looking like. So, Jeffrey is just kind of like, are you sure this is something you want to do and you want to go with? You still got time or whatever, right? And here come Erica again, bringing this damn bottle and saying congratulations. The look that Jeffrey was giving back and forth in between them had me cracking up. Okay, I said, Jeffrey is me, I am Jeffrey, because he was peeping it just like, beware this chick. Okay, I see her coming from a mile away. I know what she's about. At the same time, we finding out that Jeffrey keep getting these calls from this unknown number when he let it ring out, it's just steadily calling him back. And when it's calling back and he's answering the phone, then he's not hearing nothing. So it's like, yo, what the hell is up with this or whatever, right? So he steps away for a minute and says he's going to look over the lease, and he leaves Erica and, Phil there to talk. And here she go again, coming in for a kiss. It's like, girl, move, no. And he over here talking about, we going to go ahead and keep this professional. And she's like, yes, I'm so sorry. You're right. I apologize, or whatever the case may be. It won't happen again. I just got caught up in the excitement. I said, no, you didn't, girl. You think you fooling people, but you not. And so she basically, says that's not going to happen, and tells him that him and Viv should go ahead and enjoy the bottle that she brought. And he's like, okay, cool. So when she leaves, Jeffrey comes up to him, have to end up giving him a damn piece of tissue to wipe the lipstick off her lips. And he's like, you sure you don't want to back out of this? And Phil is saying, no, I can handle her. I know how to play her game a little bit, but keep it to where it's a safe space, and, things can't go too far. I said, are you sure, Phil? Are you sure? Because none of us are, okay? And he's like, okay, if you say so, or whatever the case may be. And, then they just both standing there looking at each other. So now we got this plan to have the daggone guy come here to Doc's office. And he was like, yo, I thought we were supposed to be trying to make, an arrangement. He was like, yeah, we are. I am. All right. And this is my lawyer, whatever. And Phil starts to give him a breakdown of all the different charges and things that he's walked away from, but yet other people have been locked up. So he was like, obviously, you must know some of the cops there or whatever. He's like, I do too. I know the chief. Okay, nice man. So I got some pull too, and I can make some calls too and make certain different things happening, because obviously you got to be out here snitching, okay, and telling stuff on other people for you to be able to keep walking away. So he over here trying to buck up and act like he still got some type of authority over Doc or whatever the case may be, and be like, yo, cause I'm tired of you. Like, you think you so much better. Street money is not good enough for you. You was been taking it all this time. And he basically was saying, he wasn't going back down, and there was nothing that they could do about it. All right. He was trying to come with that F you and telling Phil F you, type of energy too or whatever. Right. And so when he got up to try to walk out the door, Jeffrey was standing in that door like, I don't think the conversation is over. I said, I know that's right, Jeffrey. Okay, get him, break his legs. But no, they didn't do that. He actually ends up saying, like, we got a deal for you, okay? And if you take this deal, you could go and start your own business, your own way, with your own boys, and do whatever the heck you want to do. And it has absolutely nothing to do with him, and you can't keep coming back and trying to hold stuff over his head. And Phil go ahead and pass him the form and the pen. And, because he was telling him, like, yo, we could leave and y'all two could just fight. If you're telling me that y'all two damn grown-ass men can't sit down and can't come to a common ground instead of figuring it out and, handling y'all damn business or whatever, and you want to keep playing these games, then you got that option. Or you got the option of handling your stuff and actually being able to come out of this with something or whatever, right? And so he signs the papers, right? Because he was like, he's actually offering you a very generous buyout. So now they actually took care of that for Doc, help Will out at the same time, and help the boys. So I said, okay. Now, moving on from there, we had Will actually have his teammates come, and the teammates from the school is basically about to get a little training, okay, from his teammates that come from Doc program, because he wants to help them be able to beat this hard team that they got coming up in this next game. And coach is like, yo, I respect what you did right here. He was like, this is what I was looking for, an unselfish player. He was like, this really proves that you do got it in you, because even though you're not on the team, you still trying to look out for them. So if you still want to, be on the team next season, come talk to me. And Will basically gave him a dap and was like, will do. I said, okay, whatever. Now, we basically, got, Viv, where she seems to have got Janice to kind of, come over to her side and understand where she coming from and see things where, she's, doing it from. So it looks like Viv is actually gonna be able to pull off having this Neiman thing. Phil looks like he's still ready for the business. The boys is coming down in their tuxedos. Will is thanking him again for looking out for the players and saying they all wish they had an Uncle Phil, and he's glad that he have one that have his back. And he's like, I love you, and we have this tender moment, where they hugging it out or whatever. Carton come down, and everybody looking sharp, or everybody in their best dress. Okay, black is beautiful. We showing out. We gonna party tonight, and no matter who wins, you know what I'm saying, we all winners out here. And so Ashley takes a minute to actually give them both a card, tell them both that she's proud of them. They're both her heroes. She looks at both of them as her big brothers. She's like, Will, you gave me the push and the encouragement, especially when that whole protest thing was going on, to tell me not to back down and keep going through. Carlton, you pretty much told me to stay myself, and y'all don't know what a big difference that y'all made in my life and all of this. And so we leaving to go to the award ceremony or whatever. Now, when we get to the award ceremony, child, apparently Doc is in good now because he done got a damn invite. Jackie is there. She coming saying it seemed like you got to make up with everybody but me. And he's like, yeah, Drew stopping for a minute talking to Lisa saying, one thing about me, yeah, I keep it real and I call bullshit and I speak my mind, yeah, I'm going to admit it. I did drop the video and I can't admit that, but I'm going to need you to admit something too, because you try to act like you don't have no more feelings for Will when obviously you do. So, you know what I mean? It would be nice when you could admit that to yourself and admit it to me as well. And he basically walks away. And in the meantime, while 1 minute Lisa and Will is like getting a chance to glance over to each other from across the room, and the next minute she see him talking to Jackie, so she kind of walks, away to go do her breathing in the library or whatever. And when he seeing her walking away, he basically ends up saying excuse me to Jackie and leaving Jackie talking to Aunt Viv. Now before that, Jazz had also came in and they was telling each other, oh, you look sharp and I get it from you and all that, and you fly. And he does apologize to Jazz for getting a little snippy with him before and just saying that he's always down, he always keep it real, and he appreciates him. So he was like, oh, of course, where's Hillary at, right? Is she gonna be here tonight? And he was telling him like, she might be on a flight. So he was like, word, oh damn. So he was like, how you feel about that? She might have left with LaMarcus. So he's basically like, I ain't even gonna front. I think I messed that up bad. And Will like, well, you still got a chance. She not leaving till a couple hours. So he say he gonna get on out of here, okay, and see if he can catch up with her. And Will goes to Lisa, and when she's saying, it's all good, don't worry about it, you ain't gotta apologize, you don't owe me nothing, I don't owe you nothing, we are basically just friends, he is now saying, no, okay, we need to be more than friends, I got feelings for you, girl, I want to be with you, woo, okay. So now we kissy poo again, with Will and Lisa. So now Jazz knocking at Hillary's door. She thinking is the damn, car service, I guess, coming to pick her up, saying give her about another 5 minutes. But it's Jazz. And she's just like, what am I supposed to do with this? What the heck do you expect from me or whatever? I sat in the bed and cried and cried and cried. Then E was sending all messages and phone calls, straight to voicemail and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, I'm sorry. I made one of the biggest mistakes I ever could. He was like, I just felt like, why would somebody that have everything that you have, you so pretty, you smart, you intelligent, you got so much going on for yourself, you owning your own business and doing great with your own things. And I guess I messed it up before you would be able to tell me that, you didn't want me no more. But the thought of you going away, I don't care. Like if I got a second, a minute, an hour, I'm going to say what I got to say, and I'm going to take advantage of it while I can and tell you that I love you. And you're the only other woman that I've ever said that to, outside of my mom or whatever. And so he was like, I'm sorry I hurt you, but sometimes love can hurt. And she was like, well, I don't never want to hurt that way again. Can you promise me that I will never hurt again? And he was like, no, I'm going to keep it real with you. I probably can't promise you that, but I can promise you, I'm going to give you everything I got, okay, in my Anita Baker voice. And so he was like, can you deal with that? And she was like, I don't know that I can. And he said, well, think on it. And if you feel like you can, you know what I mean? Then you know where to find me. And he basically gives her a kiss and leaves. Now, in the meantime, child, Carlton again, like I said, he just out in the open. He ain't even trying to stick his head in the locker. He ain't trying to go in the bathroom, in the cut, nothing. He's literally out in the open with this coat, putting it up his damn nose. And I said, who gonna see him? Who gonna see him? Who gonna walk up on that ass? And sure enough, it was little Ashley standing there watching him, saying, "What are you doing?" And he was like, yeah, that was just Xanax. What happened? What's going on? And she was like, "I was coming to give you this." And he says that it was helping him, to calm him down. And he's like, "What's up?" So she was like, "Oh, I want to give you these," and it was basically his cards that I guess he had his notes wrote on for the award. So he was like, "Thanks, I would have been so screwed up without this." And he was about to leave. And she was like, "That's not Xanax." And he's like, "What?" She was like, "Come on, I'm not stupid." And I said, "Yeah, Carson, seriously, we know Ashley was going to know that wasn't no damn Xanax." So she's basically like, I got daggone common sense. I know what time it is or whatever the case may be. And, he just starts shaking his head or whatever. And he's like, "Come on, Ash." He's like, "You should," and he's trying to think of something to say, and then he's just like, "You should let it go." And he was like, "For me." So she was at first saying no, like, hell to the no, I can't do that. Man, then he grabbed her up and was like, "You ain't gonna say nothing, okay? You ain't gonna say one damn word, you hear me?" So she's like, "Okay," because at this point he's squeezing her arm, and she like, "I won't," and she runs away from him, and he's just looking. So, of course, when he gets in the auditorium, we get the announcement like, "Oh, who's going to be the winner of this Founders Award," or whatever the case may be. And lo and behold, it is Mr. Carlton Banks, okay? And everybody cheering, I should say, right? The parents all smiling and looking proud, but Ashley like, "Yeah, whatever, his raggedy ass done got it, okay, he got y'all fool." And Drew looking like, "Yeah, that raggedy, he got y'all fool." That's what they both was giving. And, Will was still genuinely happy for him, like, "Yeah, go, whatever." So now when he get up there, he's just looking at his family and looking at everybody, and he was like, "You know what?" Because he started off saying, "I want to thank my family and friends and the support I get and all of that." And he had to just end up switching it up. Like, "You know what? I can't even sit here and lie and bull crap. Okay, I'm a whole fraud. I've been out here getting high on the cocoa." I couldn't believe he kept it real, though. I was like, "You know what, Carlton? I respect it. You stood up there. You told your true child, but you could have told us this, okay, back at the house. We ain't need to come here and be embarrassed on the stage." I'm just saying. But I am proud of you. That took a lot of courage to stand there and admit that you have this issue and that you've been doing these drugs all this time. And he was like, "I don't deserve, this award. I have been a fraud. I have been messed up. I have been doing things that I shouldn't have been doing and looking in the people's face that care about me and lying." Like, he just, really admitted to everything. And everybody was like all shocked and just looking or whatever the case may be. And he was like, "I've been doing coke and I'm doing coke right now. I'm high right now while I'm sitting here talking to y'all as we speak or whatever." And so, he essentially just walks off the stage and, walks out. And when they get to the house, Viv is like, "Yo, we need to speak to Carlton alone." And, Will tells him, "I got your back, cuz no matter what, just let me know. I'm here for you." And he's still trying to apologize to Ashley, but Ashley ain't trying to hear it right now, okay? We not at that space where we could take the apology. And then, Viv is basically like, "What's going on? How we didn't see this?" And then trying to talk to him in a calm way. Whereas Phil is pissed. Phil done loosened up that damn tie. Phil said, "How long this been going on? Where you been getting it from? Who you been doing it with?" He talking about some, "Well, Dad, it's Bel-Air." So he was like, "You ain't got no job or nothing. So what money you spending on it?" "Oh, well, I be getting money from y'all." He was like, "Right, the money that we give you, that's allowance that you get for doing absolutely nothing. You basically have been taking it out here and using it to go ahead and get high." So when he was asking him how long he been doing it, he said like 2-3. He said 2-3 years. He was like, "I know you freaking lying." So of course he starts to, get on him about the fact that he got it, good. They take good care of him. He's had everything. He was like, "I know, Dad, you always telling me how you grew up broke. You didn't have nothing. You had to work real hard to get it," or whatever the case may be. "And I know I'm a big disappointment to you as a son." Viv keeps trying to tell Phil to calm down, but I can understand where Phil is coming from. And she was like, "We got to take a moment. To breathe. This is a lot. We got to, try to strategize and figure out what we going to do and how we going to get this boy help," right? That's really the bigger picture. But Phil is just so pissed right then and there. So, he basically was like, "You know what? I'm tired of this." And with this part, when he said this, to me, he was talking about both Viv And Carlton, he was like, I keep apologizing for being somebody that helps everybody, takes care of everybody, providing the best life for everybody. And y'all keep trying to kick me in the behind for it. Bump that. I'm tired of the shenanigans. I'm not going to be apologizing no more. And he go ahead and walk away. And she's telling Carlton, like, you just going to have to give him a little bit of time. He's upset right now. And she come in the room and he's like, what the heck? Like, this is freaking craziness. And she was like, I know. She was like, it makes it seem like we're bad parents. Like, how did we miss this all this time underneath our nose? And we are actually about to get even busier with, the positions that we're about to be in. But he says we can handle it. And then she agrees with him and says, yeah, they can. I said, can y'all? Can y'all really? Okay. And basically, they say teamwork make the dream work. They in this together. They gonna do what they gotta do, and they gonna find him help. And then they go ahead and hug each other. And later, he actually does come in Carlton's room and gives him a big bear hug. And Carlton was just crying. And I ain't gonna lie, I shed a little tear too. All right, y'all. They was acting their behinds off. I shed a little tear too. So in the meantime, Jazz gets a knock at his door. And he's thinking that it's freaking Hillary coming. But no, Hillary is knocking at LaMarcus' door. And apparently going on this trip for him, okay? It's UPS at Jazz's door, okay? That's who was at Jazz door. All he got was a box, and he had to close that door and turn off the lights. All right. So now Will and Lisa walking. I guess we officially together again. They going to school. He's saying it's been quite a year. There's quite some things that went down. Carlton is gonna need all the help he could get, and they're gonna be there to help him, and he's gonna get through this. And he's just saying like being seniors is really gonna be something. And she like, whoa, slow down. Okay, we gotta get through summertime first. And he was like, oh yeah, that's right. This gonna be my first summer in Bel-Air. Like, what is that like? And she's like, what? And you like to know, And so we go off with summertime. Let's just sit back and unwind. Okay, that's what we got. Will Smith is in back jamming as it goes off, y'all. And that was basically the season finale. I don't know, y'all. What did y'all think about this season finale? What do y'all rate it? I also forgot to mention, of course, Viv, does see that Janice put in this resignation and is saying pass the torch to her. So she is taking this on. She's looking at these rehab centers and at the same time for Carlton. Whereas Phil over here getting damn messages, child, from Erica talking about coming out to eat. And at first he was like, I can't tonight. And then he gonna change it and talk about sure. I said, Phil, we on your behind, boy. I don't give a damn how stressed you are with Carlton and Viv and everything else. You better not go mess with damn Erica. That's not gonna solve the problem, okay? We watching you for season 3 coming, boy, okay? We watching you. And Jeffrey, of course, gets this random, blank envelope that has a picture of him sitting with his sons. And he ended up telling Phil that he had basically traced this number and it's coming from London. So who we gotta fight, Jeffrey? Okay, what's going on now? Who's watching your son? Like, what's good? Okay, that's what I need to know. But yeah, y'all, if I left anything, I'll put it in the comments. Let's discuss it down there. Tell me what you rated this season as a whole, what you rated, this episode, the season finale, what you liked, what you didn't like, all that good stuff. Okay, let's put it in the comments. Have a conversation down there. Like, comment, share, subscribe to the channel if you are so inclined. Okay, your girl trying to get to 700, right? I really want to get to 1,000, but 700 is the next spot. I think I'm like 20 people away. So if you like the content, please do subscribe. Give me a wave. Let me know you came by. Put some flames up in the sky. Till next time, y'all.